Kinahan. Let's stay local here because Tom Fortune, independent councillor, is with us. And Tom, you're here to talk to us about another good news story, I suppose, because we were talking about the concerns about Ardmore. There's potential for growth here in this county, isn't there, Tom? And what you've highlighted during the week is the prospect of bringing a data centre to Kilcool. Or certainly to North Wicklow.
Good morning, Niall. Yes, indeed there is. I think Wicklow has absolutely tremendous potential. We're right on the doorstep of Dublin and close to airport, close to all the roads that lead all over the country. The data centre project has tremendous potential for Wicklow and in particular North Wicklow. And as I have already said, and it's on the public domain, I'm absolutely amazed that Wicklow County Council have not pulled out all the stops to make sure that this particular project happens. And to put it in context, the data centre has planning permission up on the site just beyond Newtown Mount Kennedy on the main road, and it could create initially a reasonable amount of jobs, but the spin-off and all the what it would bring to the area would be just fantastic. For example, in Galway, the politicians and the public have been marching because the project over there is going to be held up, and they're saying it's worth $1 billion to the economy. Now think about that in the terms of Wicklow. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So what sort of response are you getting from the council on it, Tom?
Well, what happened was on the 4th of July, as part of the county development plan process, it was recommended from the CEO that the actual site be dezoned. Yeah. Which kind of was a big surprise, but the members thankfully didn't accept that. Then it went out on the display, the last section of the county development plan, and I put in a submission that the original planning that was on it in 2010 be reinstated, which meant adding into the current planning was the fact that they put in research and development, to put in an administration building and an energy recovery process. Now, the promoter of that particular project, only the week before the county development plan final decision, met with a client who was interested in operating the energy recovery and all of that for the project. So when it came to the meeting, then I was told then, leading up to the meeting, the final meeting of the development plan on the 14th of November, that under the Planning Act, my amendment wasn't acceptable. And I went back and I challenged that on the basis that what I was saying was a minor amendment, which you are allowed to do under the Act. I was told no, what I was asking was a major amendment. So went to and froing. But to my absolute surprise, my correspondence was then handed over to the law agent in Wicklow County Council. I just couldn't believe it. And I went back and said, and basically the word coming from there was very similar to what the planning section was telling me. So eventually I went back and I challenged that, and I asked for the proper legal opinion on what they were saying, where were they coming from with this view, because I didn't agree with it. And then I got the same answer. And then we had our meeting then on the 7th of November, and 3 minutes before the meeting started, and the meeting was due to start at 10:30, we're given a 25-page legal opinion from a barrister, which meant you couldn't react to that. You couldn't do anything. So when it came to the amendment, the meeting didn't finish on the 7th. It came back on the 14th. And on the 14th, I basically said to the meeting what I'm saying to you. And I had no option but to not, under the circumstances, pursue what I was doing. And also, which surprised me greatly, was the silence from everybody in the chamber, on it. I just couldn't believe it. This is a project that could be the making of North Wicklow, the making of Newtown Mount Kennedy, Kilcool, Greystones, Delgany, Bray, that whole area. So it just doesn't add up at all. You're
listening to Councillor Tom Fortune here on Wicklow this week, and we are talking about his plans. They seem to have gone overlooked during the week, and that's why we're highlighting them about this potential new project, which would be absolutely brilliant for North County Wicklow. Tom, the problem here really, in a wider sense, is that North County Wicklow feels, and a lot of people in North County Wicklow feel, that the recession is still being felt, and the recovery seems to bypass parts of North County Wicklow.
I would say, Niall, that's pretty true, because there's been a lot of spin at national level about how great things are, and I think there's no doubt that things are improving. but people are still hurting, businesses are still hurting, businesses are still struggling to get finance. And, this is why I believe the commercial role of Wicklow County Council is to promote and develop Wicklow as a business entity, for want of a better word. And when you have a project like this, and as I said to you earlier when in the interview, in Galway they're going bananas because it's not happening quick enough, and they're talking in terms of, as I said to you, being worth $1 billion plus. So, really and truly, I just think that one of the main priorities now in Wicklow should be to promote and bring in industry at this level.
Yeah, and you're right there. And I suppose if any of the TDs are listening and we were talking about them in relation to Ardmore, it's very much, there could be an election very soon, Tom, couldn't there?
Well, there could be. And I mean, I would be quite critical of some aspects of things. I'm being critical in a fair sense. But I was also being critical this week of a couple of our TDs who were in the local media talking about various aspects of Wicklow and red tape and the IDA. I mean, in my time on the council, the IDA have come down to Wicklow on 3 occasions. And it's just been another waste of time. They come in, they give you a sermon, they listen to questions from the members, and we hear nothing. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I've commented on that as well during the week, because I think it's ridiculous. I think our TDs, I mean, if you're a TD and you're a minister, for example, you have a massive job. But if you're a TD and you're not part of the government in particular, I mean, what are you doing? You should be going in my view, and looking to talk to the IDA, looking to talk to everybody that matters to promote Wicklow. I mean, Wicklow is a fantastic county. We have 136,000 people, and through a proper development of business like the way we're talking, proper development of tourism, proper development of the farming business and all the knock-on effect from the farming business, we should have full employment in Wicklow. We could be supplying the world. I mean, if you think about it, the operation in Wicklow is as big as the operation you'd have to run Greater Manchester or somewhere like that. So it makes no sense.
Well, it's food for thought, Tom. Councillor Tom Fortune, independent councillor. I nearly said Labour Party, but I know that was a number, certainly a number of years ago. Tom, thanks very much, and you might keep us up to date now on those plans, will you?
Thank you, Noel. I certainly will do that, because I think it's still, in my view, and I tend to like to see the glass half full all the time. I just think that this still shouldn't be allowed to be lost to Wicklow, because you don't get too many opportunities like this, and we really, really need to pursue it. So I would, this morning, again, talking to yourself, I would call on Wicklow County Council to proactively now get after this and try and make it happen even at this stage.
Tom, thank you. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about a campaign to get low protein foods